Samson is a game with genuine potential, killed by a fundamental failure to understand why certain mechanics actually work. And that's exactly why this is just another GTA driver clone that died on arrival.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Let's get into the meat of it. Combat is supposed to be Samson's centerpiece, the thing that's fun, the thing that surprises you. In practice, what we have is raw, unfinished gameplay slapped together on Unreal Engine. Hit registration doesn't exist. You just flail around hoping the game notices you're swinging at someone, spinning like a hamster in a wheel surrounded by enemies, desperately praying something connects. There's zero depth here. Sure, players sometimes complain that in other games, enemies attack you one at a time, even when you're surrounded. So the devs decided everyone should attack at once. And they do. You get mobbed from all sides, and fighting back is basically impossible because the game gives you zero clear feedback. In Batman, you could parry enemy attacks and actually enjoy being in the middle of a fight, and while thinking about which gadget to use next, who to target, how to chain it all together. In Samson, your best strategy is drag enemies away from the crowd and beat them one by one. There's a finisher system, but it's basically a coin flip. You might land the animation in time, or you might eat a dozen hits from the crowd because the finisher script, like the animation themselves, works maybe half the time. The game even has environmental weapons, metal pipes, bricks, bottles, and you can throw them to instantly stun enemies. Sounds great, except there's no aim indicator. The projectile flies on its own random arc even when the camera is aimed onto a target. And when you do land a hit and try to follow up with the finisher, you're back to praying the animation triggers before the whole mob caves your skull in. The camera during combat deserves its own paragraph. It is awful. No real field of view, enemy attack indicators are nearly unreadable. In Batman, the camera dynamically repositioned to give you spatial awareness of the entire fight. Here, it just fights you. Full melee arsenal, light attack, heavy attack, dodge, block. There's also a grab. And the bottom line, poor core gameplay, unresponsive hit registration, janky animations across the board.
Oh shit, here we go again.
First rule of the open world game: if you do something, the world reacts. This world doesn't care about you. There's nothing to do, no reason to explore. It exists purely as a backdrop for repetitive missions and a thin story. Static, small, which could have worked if they filled it with something. But even in that small space, everything feels hollow. Mission types: kill 12 bandits, collect 5 boxes, chase and destroy 3 cars, and some races. That's the full Samson experience. That's as far as I could progress in the game. Finding boxes is a special kind of tedium. The game has a hot and cold proximity indicator, but it never explains this to you. I didn't figure it out for a while, and the items blend into the environment completely. So if you don't understand the mechanic, you can wander a single block for a very long time. Then there are the chase missions. The most infuriating thing starts the moment you get into a car. It doesn't move, it just sits there thinking. If you hit the gas the second you sit down, the car stays put, because the game engine simply wasn't programmed to register input that fast. So you get in, you wait, and then you drive. Annoying at the best of times, completely unacceptable when you need to act fast. And fast is exactly what these missions demand. Every car has a health bar, and in chase missions where you're supposed to ram enemy vehicles, I ran straight into, and you know what? The same hit registration problem. Hitting the side or rear bumper of an enemy car somehow deals damage to my car, not theirs. And once your car's health hits 0, you stop dead. So now you're scrambling to find a parked car nearby, because the game won't let you car check a moving vehicle. Strange design choice, but you can steal a parked one. Break the window, hotwire it, wait through the animation, all while the target drives off and the mission ticks toward failure. And retrying the mission costs action points. Sounds like a challenging and interesting mechanic. It is, when the gameplay is actually fun. Not here. Listen, the car can even get stuck on a cardboard box in the middle of the street, and because of that, I failed the mission. And there's one more thing. You cannot push an enemy car off its path at all. No pit maneuver, no side ramming to redirect them. The only way to actually damage an enemy vehicle is a direct head-on hit or a clean rear-end collision. That's it. The controls sit somewhere between arcade and realistic, and not in a good way. The game doesn't know what it wants to be. There's even nitrous, but with controls this unresponsive, it just makes everything worse. The game has a perk system. I could tell you something about it if I'd actually managed to put in enough hours to level it up properly, but I couldn't, because Samson is so deeply frustrating that playing it stops feeling like a game and starts feeling like a fight against itself and all of its problems. But there's one thing Samson genuinely nailed, and that's atmosphere. The art direction captures the feel of a rundown neighborhood on the outskirts of a big American city in the 90s, and it does it well. It's still the Unreal Engine look everyone's tired of, but somehow the game manages to make it work visually. And here's something I didn't expect: the ambient music is actually good. It doesn't try to steal the show, it just exists in the background, quietly building the mood, especially at night. It doesn't distract you, but it pulls you into the setting. That atmosphere was the one thing that kept pulling me back. The one reason I kept looking for something positive in this game. Unfortunately, the creators of Just Cause and Mad Max somehow lost everything they knew about making games. This shipped as an alpha build. Whatever experience those veterans had seems to have disappeared somewhere along the way. Samson had potential. All it needed was polished mechanics and tighter animations. Maybe they should have cut the cars entirely and focused on making the combat deep. More moves, more options, more flow. The cars feels like a completely separate game bolted on. The attempt to merge Driver with GTA in one package just didn't land. The whole idea of advertising the game as an arena where you can smash everything by throwing enemies into objects just doesn't work. It's basically useless. And for that to work, enemies would have to behave like dummies and not fight back at all. I get that games are expensive to make, but what's the point of shipping something like this? What makes it sting even more, this isn't a rookie studio. These are veterans. Did they really not see the quality of what they were releasing? And the Unreal Engine issue isn't going away. It's becoming the universal sign of a cheap template-built game. There's documentation for the engine, but for some reason making a game in Unreal that actually stands out visually, especially in Lightning, feels like a global problem. Like people just don't know how to work with it. Samson looks like just another template-built project. This is yet another GTA Driver clone that did miserably. Thanks for watching till the end. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, thanks anyway. See ya.